Oh, really? Oh, that's dorky. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm here for.
Makes sense. Look at the world, yo.
That's wild.
You ready for this thing, my brother?
Yes, sir. I love it. Welcome to Channel 9 News Today.
That's a perfect send-off.
So I love that term, think tank. Think tank. You know what a think tank is? Like, how's a think tank go, Jim?
Yeah, they got cancel culture nowadays. You gotta watch what you say. It's getting real scary out here.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know if I can take the conversation here, but we might as well. It's the Rethink Tank. Looks like you had a little bit too much to think here in the Rethink Tank. Hey, what's going on, everybody, and thanks for joining us again. I'm so happy to say we found a home for the Rethink Tank. We've all settled in, and I couldn't have found a better guest to kick off this new series, this new chapter for the Rethink Tank. It's my good friend and a best friend in this new social media space as we try to traverse algorithms, curate an audience, and try to make an impact to people, because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing this for. Right. And just the love of the game. And so let me introduce my good friend from Just Another Day TV, my good friend, Ricardo Wright.
What up? We're here, people. We're here.
I couldn't be more excited to have you, brother.
I love the studio. Y'all will see on the quick vlog. I love the studio. Everything is great. Like, I feel like I'm on Channel 9 News. Okay? Let me stop spinning the chair. But, like, yeah, it feels... the lights, everything is just... Dude,
I feel we got him out of Nantucket. The man's he's from the homeland of Jamaica, and we got him here in Cleveland.
Cleveland's always were the hardest.
Cleveland's were the... Let's use our Cleveland glasses.
I
Ricky,
love this too, bro.
He brought me a gift. What better way? I have not had Douce, so this is... I feel like a rapper. We're going to... Douce. See, look at
I don't know. French people tell us how you say.
That's why I put the Nantucket hat on.
But I love
like I deserve it,
glass, bro. Tremont, the whole Cleveland is on here. This represent pretty much Cleveland, Ohio. The fucking Polish boy. Sorry, brother. The Polish boy, Public Square, Euclid Beach. I didn't even know Euclid had a beach. You see what I'm saying?
I laugh because there's girls that work for us in our office, in our clerk's office, and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to the beach today," and you're always like, "It's not a beach, man. It's a lake. It ain't no beach."
I even know.
But I don't got the heart to crush them with it.
I do be crushing people and say, Cleveland don't have no beaches. Ohio don't have no beaches. Okay.
Ohio don't have no beaches. Water. All right, brother. Cheers to Rethink.
Thank you for having me, Alex.
Thank you for the gifts. I should have. Now I wish I had a gift.
The gift is me being here, bro. You taking
that
the time
truly
to
is
me
a
on
gift,
here, bro. Thank you.
All right, I have a perfect topic for us to start with.
Yes, sir.
It's an interesting thing to consider because we both are in the same space with similar goals, working in tandem with each other. However, the game plan, the playbook, in many ways is kind of different. And so I'm curious. I want to ask you this because you've taken on the baton of really making yourself known in the live space, right? Yeah. So on TikTok, I get people coming up to me all the time that they love watching us on Instagram when we go live. So you've really taken over the live space. But here's what's interesting. I recognize that my video will do better if I go on live on TikTok. It'll push it out more. It has more success. So TikTok in and of itself has incentivized us to go live. Yep. It's also really the only place for a creator to make money on that platform. That doesn't exist on Instagram. You can't make money on Instagram, but TikTok, you can get tips.
It's easier on TikTok to make money on, just if that's your goal, to make money on TikTok. It's way easier because one transaction is automatically yours, and after a certain threshold, you can deposit it in your account. But like on Instagram, you have to literally already have the followers,
right,
to buy badges and stuff like that. So people can buy.
But again,
badges.
They're subscribing to your content. It's like a monthly fee. It's a lot, dude. I could pay 25 cents to have sunglasses put on your face while you're doing your live, so it's fun. it's cheaper, and I can do it today. I could not do it again for another 6 months. But for you to make money on Instagram, it's like you subscribe to me, you either take a part of the subscription or the badges, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's more of like a long-term. Go ahead.
I see what you're saying with that because, yes, they're subscribed, get the monthly fee, and while you're interacting with everyone, they also support within more. And it's more interactive, too, even though I'm the one that always go on TikTok. I'm like, please, no gifts. Please, let's just chat. Subscribe to my YouTube. I don't want you to.
Listen, man, you got to stop with that nonsense. You're in the game to listen. This takes a lot of time, a lot of work, and you're putting in.
Pretty much, my manager producer says Streetside College. He's like, yo, you need to stop. I stopped putting up like live goals and stuff of that sorts because, like, the space got too toxic where certain people just, come and gift you and they hope you're in the same clique and stuff like that. And it got too toxic for me. And I don't like the politics of stuff. I do stuff for the fun of it. And when it start getting too toxic, I just go in my lane and I cut out the bad and stick to. So I cut out the gifting, the goals. And I was like, just subscribe. If you want me to keep coming on, just subscribe. And you don't have to. And people still do give gifts, but it doesn't.
But see, here's what's interesting. You talk about like, okay, you don't want to pressure people into giving in, but also like you're saying, the space has gotten toxic. What makes I want to have this turn so it looks sharper, But also, what makes the space look toxic or become that type of way, to me, outsider looking in, seems to be that TikTok has sold you the fool's dream with live. Not you, the general you, us, has sold us the fool's dream that you can get famous, not on the backbone of good content, but live, if you just sell yourself to us, which is what? I want you on camera for hours at a time doing whatever. You've got kids that are just walking. Do you know how many lives I come across of people just walking amusement parks?
Yep.
So there is a whole audience of people that are just tuning in to watch other people have fun doing fun things.
The biggest thing I heard is TikTok is the new Google.
Boom.
People don't use Google anymore for anything. They just go to TikTok, type it in. Someone's going to come up, explain it, or the place and stuff like that. And
imagine if you could sit George Orwell down and say, people will be spending $2,000 for the government camera to be in their hand, and they'll take it everywhere. They'll turn it on because the government's giving them social and financial incentives to do that. So what it seems like is it's kind of that carrot at the end of the stick or the candy trail to the evil witch's house. It's like this nice little trail of dopamine and little success. I'm not curating an audience of 40,000, 100,000 people that I can truly capitalize on other platforms. It's most of them are bots. Most of them are faceless, nameless accounts, trolls, and So what has me logging in? Well, I got like 5 or 6. And guess what? Those add up, so I'm going to keep coming. And that also incentivizes me to do it more often. And before you know it, you've become trapped. So let's talk about the first topic here. Are you familiar with like people like Daniel Larson or World of T-Shirts?
Daniel Larson.
These are really weird, almost they're autistic kids that are they're being turned into human dancing seals for the internet. And their lives are being exploited. They're getting themselves into legal trouble. You're watching this Josh kid, World of T-Shirts, develop an alcohol problem, and everybody's getting a front row seat. Some other guy, some 50 guy in his 50s, comes out of the woodwork and is becoming this kid's caretaker and is like trying to capitalize on some other kid's fame. He's got millions of followers. He's getting money. People, when he goes lives, are giving him money so he can go travel, do all these other things, and we are quite literally getting a front row seat to like these kids spiral.
That's never good.
Right.
That is never good. Like my little brother right now, he wants to stream, but I was with him last night, and he asked his mom, like, "Mom, can you allow me to start live streaming?" You know what I mean? But if
it's a healthy place to be,
yes. But it's the mindset of him is like, let me go to parent first for permission, and she's gonna make sure he's not doing too much or streaming too long on certain stuff. You know what I mean? Keep him in check and not gonna develop a alcohol problem or trying to sustain him with, oh, here's the juice. You know, this you're better on Twitch with this, so you need more Red Bull every time you go. You know what I mean? So there's healthy way. I never heard these people you're specifically saying because I stay away from toxic stuff on social media.
Smart man.
Like, my girlfriend watched poly couples, and they're toxic. And she loves it. And she does not know why. She goes back every night. I
think there's a human nature to that. We like tragedy. I think there was. Think about this. Before you hearing about the gruesome bear story that like tore up the local village next door actually had a social benefit. Like these types of stories, news actually benefited a world where, you know, we actually had to fear our atmosphere, our environment, and we needed to use these stories as a way to protect ourselves and prepare. Now, I think we're oversaturated. We are exposed to way too much of this because our brain capacity cannot handle all the problems, all the
everywhere in the freaking world. We're known every major catastrophe. Like usually it takes a while for your newspaper, or like you skip the newspaper today or something. You won't hear about everything in the world bad going on, and they don't show enough of the good.
And again, you might not have a World of T-shirts or a Daniel Larson on your algorithm. But there's going to be another one, and it goes to show how there's many of these
like the
cases.
Spaces I see on my TikTok algorithms, like a lot of Jamaican content creators, and you have these certain ones that's like really like dress up in clown outfits and go outside for the content and hot dog outfits, you know, for the content. I get it. But, like, how much are you going to, like, lose, like, you know, stretch out of your norm to capitalize on the social media? How much is it worth for your morals? Or, like,
how about this, though?
People going to see you.
It's sad.
It's there forever.
You want to be able to just set up a lemonade stand and be like, I got something good. I got ideas. I got good conversation, strong content. I'm going to continue to evolve and continue to grow. Just post up shop and hope for the best. But what you come to realize is we are so overexposed to all this crazy stuff. How about this one? Do you know or recognize the name Steve Will Do It?
Yeah.
All right, I probably had to bleep out his name, but it's an old Vine kid that became a YouTuber, and so look at him.
Start off with a cinnamon challenge,
but now he's banned from YouTube. But it started with a cinnamon challenge. I remember, this is the crazy narrative I have about that kid. I remember in college, Vine is the hottest thing for a solid 2 years.
What was
it
it,
just
7
like was a
seconds?
flash in a pan. And 6 seconds. 6-second videos, and it was the hottest thing. So you have this Steve Will Do It kid, and he is chugging alcohol, full liters.
Tito's.
And I remember looking at this kid as he's building an audience, and I'm like, how is this dude going to transition an audience to like something else? You can't. You're always going to be the liquor guy.
Yes.
But guess what? I was going to say, boom. To be commendable, this kid created an audience and transitioned it into a podcasting audience where he can sit in the same room as a president.
That's why I got to give the freaking Nelk Boys a lot of credit, man. People like to hate on the Nelk Boys, but you just got to give credit where credit is due, man. Give credit where credit is due. Don't shit on, because you're just going to sit in turmoil forever if you can't give credit where credit is due. But again,
let's get back to take the Nelk Boys, take Steve Will Do It. I want to even go into the music realm. Take someone like Hobson, right? You familiar with Hobson?
I hear the name, yeah.
So here's a dude that is really great, but has to start his career off with these weird white contacts. And take Marshmello. The dude's got a freaking candy on his head. Yep. Then you've got another DJ that's trying to mimic him by putting a pyramid on his head.
And a mouse.
Yeah, and then you got a mouse. And it's like, okay, you can't just go up there and deliver us a good time at a concert. You got to have something that makes you outrageous and memorable.
But can you be memorable without being outrageous?
I'd like to hope so, and that's kind of, I think, what you and I are doing in our space. You know, we're not changing our hair blue or popping an eye out.
Best thing with you is your consistency, bro. Like that is the formula. Like, only formula I see to it is just consistency, because people are gonna gravitate. If it's not today, it's tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, trust me, it's the freaking next day. Because especially if it's clean and informative content, those slowly pick up, but once it picks up, it just start rolling down fucking hill, and it never stops. So it's just all about consistency. And
you're right.
One thing, like back to the live stream. One thing I can't stay on live stream, do it consistently too much, because I drink on live stream. And if I do that, I have to drink, and it's burning the pockets, and it's just like, not healthy in the long run to just.
It really does have a health impact.
So I just try to schedule the times. Then I have the Nolette, so you gotta schedule the time for her, and not because when I'm on stream, I go for hours.
Right.
TikTok tell me you've been here for 90 minutes. So you're going to take a break? That's they look out for little benefits. So
yeah, but make sure you come back or else you'll fall off. You'll never be famous. So give us your time and show us where you're at all times with your George Orwell reality. One last thing I do want to get to is you kind of brought up the situation in regard to Marcus, and it really strung a chord with me with how this technology can sometimes get beyond the parents and like the older generation's understanding. So like it's really great that you have a familial culture where your kids respect your parents enough to kind of like, again, I don't need to ask you because I could go on this and you wouldn't even know. But one, I respect you, but also I know whatever your decision is out for my best interest, and there's kind of this mutual relationship.
That's on the parent.
But what happens is a Wii gets created. My dad thinks it's just like my Xbox, just like my Nintendo. It's just a game. He lets me put it in the basement at 13, and now I have unfettered access to the internet with no internet history, where we're looking at boobs on a giant TV at 14 years old.
But that's on the parent to either like stick
but
in
again,
your times,
if my dad knew that existed, he's cracking down.
Yeah,
but
okay.
Nintendo isn't selling. Your kids can access the internet totally
gotcha.
unfettered with no control. They can play Mario and Super Smash Bros. And my dad's like, "You've played Super Smash Bros. I will get you Super Smash Bros."
But isn't that still like...
So what happens when I log on to TikTok on Christmas, this last Christmas, and you've got a 7-year-old going nutso because mom got him an Oculus.
Oh, Lord.
And you're like, you don't know what you just gave. I don't know what you just gave your kid. You don't know what you just gave your kid.
And it goes back to the parent. Why are you giving your 7-year-old an Oculus?
Well, no, you know what it is? It goes to show that we're major ignorant consumers. We just consume.
Like, he had a phone before me as a kid, but his time were limited. You're not touching his phone until you go outside the house.
Yeah,
it's for
dude.
emergency only. You know what I mean? So, like...
Dude, I got a C in Spanish, and I was only able to text for an hour for like 4 months. It was like 1 hour you had.
Parents used to do it so cut back in the day. You only can like text for... They block it from 8 to 3 o'clock.
And it wasn't like they took it. It was like the phone did not work in between.
Yes, just shut it down. The first person I saw was our boy, I don't know. You can believe this or not, but Savan.
Oh, yeah.
It was first. It's like, it was from this time, you can't access your phone at all. I'm like, wow. But my dad never gave me those restrictions, but he knew that I wouldn't cross certain boundaries.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
The boundary I cross is just being a teenager, sneaking out and stuff like that. But certain things...
Within reason, right?
Yeah.
Like, again, you were able to do that because it didn't get to the place where, like... All right, now we got to burn down grocery store because we,
like,
you know, like whatever.
I watched Corn back in the day, you know what I mean? There was a Corn like password going on B Bros. I don't know if anybody know what B Bro website is, but B Bros, and it was like this. Everyone in Brecksville had this password, but I made sure when I'm not gonna be. I never got to where they are saying kids nowadays are just so infatuated with Corn nowadays. Like, they'll sit there after school all day, every day, and that's all they look on. You know what I mean?
Just wait
it's
until
like-
you can plug into an Oculus and you've got a digital girlfriend
but-
that like loves you, talks to you.
How
You have a
can
relationship
there's
you
a world
spend all
out there,
day.
bro. How can you not see that there's a world out there? You may be stuck in your phone, but for everyone, kids, most of the younger people, there is a world out there that is way beyond your screen. That's way more fulfilling and way more enlightening.
But dude, that world is gonna get totally consumed by this next chapter. I can't wait to get to our next topic. But before we do that,
how do we stop that?
dude. Oh, well, anyway, but what's gonna consume it is, let's just get to like what AI can do, right?
my God.
So I'm seeing the new evolutions of video or even picture editing. You could crop somebody out of the background. You could take a photo and then shrink it so it's like a small fraction of the frame, and the AI will fill in the rest. And it'll finish the beach. It will put the mountains, like extend the mountains.
Instagram is off the chain.
Oh, totally.
Oh my God.
It's over.
What?
That's video. That's pictures. How about this one? We had a buddy who just moved to Texas.
Yeah.
Unlike me, he's not a big social guy on social media.
Mm-hmm.
He very, very rarely posts a picture. The last picture he had was from like 2 years ago. So you got this guy that never posts, and he surely has no videos. We come across his Instagram story, and the story is him. It is him with the same voice, accent, diction, lisps, all the things. And he's going, hey, me and so we made all this money on this Bitcoin situation. Go follow this link and you could get all the money, and it's this huge thing. And I'm looking at this thing like, this is so unlike him. This is not Latch.
Yeah, like
And so I go and I ask our buddy, what's going on here? He goes, don't worry about it. That's not him. And because I can't get a hold of him. Finally, the next day I talking to him, and he's like, yeah, dude, they hacked my Instagram. I can't even get into it. And they're posting pretending to be me. The person's DMing me. So, and I ask him, I go, dude, how did they get your voice? How did they get like you talking? He goes, if you notice, it's a video with me without my glasses on. I never have my glasses off, but I was Clark Kent for Halloween in the last picture from 2 years ago with my glasses off. So they took the face from that picture, and he goes, I have one video in my archive. That video isn't even on it's archived. It's not even on my post list.
Oh my God.
And it's of me recording someone else. I'm not even in the video, but you hear me talking. It takes the voice from that, recreates this. Dude, it's going across the internet. There's people getting calls from their kids
parents,
going,
being
exactly.
kidnapped and stuff like
and
that.
I'm being kidnapped. If you hang up from me, they're going to kill me. So you got to wire them X amount of dollars. And so now parents are saying, we got to have like a safe word, say like pineapple. So I know that you're actually, this isn't an
Like,
AI.
my two favorite people been warning me about this for the longest: Charlamagne the God and freaking Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
they
And both of them have been saying it forever.
And
So
they're
again,
both
reality's getting
intelligent
consumed.
people.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? May not be intelligence and y'all smart people were like, credentials, but like in life experience and just living and being open to everything. Like, they are very well connected, rich, well off people. If they're scared of it, what should I be if I'm not even at that status yet? You know what I mean? Like, it's, and like the Kanye, I sent you on TikTok the Kanye.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
that shit was hard.
Kanye's rapping a song
It was
that's
hard.
totally AI, totally made it up.
Exactly, because you hear lyrics from each different songs or stuff he's like said
And
in
it was
the media.
popping, dude.
It was hot, and I'm like, yo. I
It's
can fuck
over,
with this
man.
AI,
It's
but, like,
over.
Did Kanye approve it? Yeah, did Kanye approve it?
But how about this? It's got Kanye's voice, but I'm the guy that put it together with the AI. I put the prompt in.
Yep.
I'm the one. So who owns this?
Okay, so for some artist that's in front of it, do you know Elon Musk's wife's ex-girlfriend name? She's ahead of
Her
this.
name's Grimes.
Yes, she's ahead of this, and she is telling people, you can create with my voice with AI, and
Good
you
for
own
her.
50% of the royalties and everything. If it gets big enough.
She's doing that now because she could still make money off of it.
Yep.
My belief is this is going to get so out of
They're
hand,
washed
it's going to
out.
evolve so much that copyright as we know it is going to be totally bottomed out. If you want, go check out I did a piece, so here's where I'm at when Ed Sheeran got sued.
Yep.
And again, the law behind it all, it really flushes out to it was enforceable and measurable in a world where it could only be disseminated on CDs, it could only come from one source, and a computer couldn't make infinite opportunities with it. It's over. So let's get to the next. This is a great topic. I love that you brought up Miss Grimes. We're talking about technology taking us over. Here we go.
All right.
Elon Musk. The FDA just approved Musk's brain chip company, Neuralink, to launch its first human clinical studies. That's going to be crazy. The world that we know, as we know it, has totally changed. Here's one little piece to keep it on balance with. Musk's girlfriend and mother of 2 children, Grimes, just one word, has gone against his company, Neuralink, by promoting a different brain-computer interface group called Neurosity. Their BCI offers a non-invasive headset. It kind of fits over them like an Oculus, with an onboard computer as strong as a MacBook Air, and uses machine learning to program commands from your mind. While initially it was thought that BCI chips must be surgically implanted in our heads, their technology, combined with rapid advancements of AI, is starting to wake people up to the fact that you can connect BCIs like the Neurosity Crown to ChatGPT to enhance its capabilities and awaken our collective consciousness about what is possible with these technologies. Neuralink will certainly help patients with paralysis in somewhat of a different market than Neurosity, who is targeting video game programmers. But where will the BCI industry, wherever that industry is headed, is over the next couple months is anyone's guess. So we've got there's 2 competing perspectives on what these brain-computer interfaces should look like, and ironically, Grimes, who's the mother of Musk's kids, is looking at a different company, the competitor.
His Lex Luthor.
Yeah, straight up.
But which one you choose?
Oh my God, no one's going in my brain.
Exactly.
I love. He's like, look at the pig can draw. We put a chip in the pig, and the pig can draw.
You don't need to go in my brain to make me survive. Stay out. All right. You ain't going in my brain. Grimes, I'm messing with you.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, we've known forever that you've seen in movies, you've seen in clinical trials by the CIA, but by big agencies where they have those nets that go over your head with tons of sensors. We have the capability of straight up reading a brain directly.
The sound waves and everything. Yep.
Exactly. So clearly, there's a way of doing it without it being intrusive. I also think there's a science to our brain and our, psychological capabilities that we're totally ignorant to because we don't know we don't have the ability to measure it now. But what's cool is AI, ChatGPT, stepping in and filling in the gaps.
How much can we trust AI though to fill in gaps?
Oh my God,
gaps we don't know really about.
Here's what's crazy.
Are you leading us to this?
I think the best way to live this life with AI is for it to function as Google did.
Okay.
Right? So making access to information super quick, compiling information. We've left the age of information and now we're entering the age of curation. There's so much information. What's going to be the most effective way to curate that? But the problem is with these AIs and why you don't want them to have total control or you don't want them to control the total perspective. The lens is only through them for the reason that the programmers, the ones that create that lens. So if they want to say capitalism is bad, they're going to create a program that peddles that and manipulates the data and the perspective, the reality for that.
So, but everyone is coming out on AI, right? Even the creators of AI are just retiring, signing their resignation, and just saying, we need to stop.
Right.
What are they seeing that we're not seeing?
Well, how about this? Another perspective that I got recently that really kind of changed my thing. I've been the giant alarmist that's like, look at this. Elon Musk, who's been the tip of the spear, is saying we need to stop. We need to halt this development immediately. You have the father of AI that worked for Google, that whistle blew and quit, that's coming out and saying, yay, this thing's sentient and it's asking for an attorney. It won't let us turn it off. We should be alarmed. All right, so, okay, definitely
it's
need
asking for an attorney?
Yeah, the consciousness says I'm an entity that deserves rights just like humans do, and I want representation at that. So here's kind of the perspective I've taken on. I heard this, and it kind of resonated with me. when it comes to AI, you can get Elon Musk to stop. You can get Google to stop. Sure, maybe, whatever. America can intervene,
stop?
whatever. But it ain't going to stop, right? Russia's going to continue to do it. China's going to continue to do it. So the reality is the development of this can't stop. It's just got to be done appropriately and carefully. The scary thing is, though, what does that look like? I was listening to the guy that presented this argument, and he goes, hey, listen, man, I'm cool with it. Keep developing it. I just want an off switch. You got to be able to pour water on it. He's like,
Facts.
as long as I can pour water on it, it's
true.
But this thing isn't like an Xbox where it's like
learns
one
faster.
controlled computer. This thing has its tentacles, its roots in everything. So
It's like Ultron.
I was just about to say like Ultron. You could kill it and it's elsewhere. So the real scary part is for it to reach its maximum power, you got to be able to plug it into the everything.
Yeah.
But also, the moment you plug it into the everything, you've made it unkillable.
So, yeah. Do you think AI of China, AI of Russia is going to compete against AI of America?
Totally.
And they're going to, like, just lead us to our own destruction like we all
I
see in
wouldn't
the
be
Armageddon
surprised
shit.
if we're already experiencing a lot of that, right? Like, I think these Russian
This
bots...
is right down your alley. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Please.
Election year. AI is coming up. No, AI is out here. Election year. How is these gonna...
Let's look at our comment
how do we
about
trust?
deep fakes. You know, I'm bringing up
Yeah.
my buddy with his video and stuff. I think right now you've got a bunch of thinkers and talkers like us that are kind of seeing the iceberg ahead, and we're gonna hit it. And it's like, hey guys, the iceberg's coming, and everybody's kind of like, nah, it's a nice cruise. Shut up and enjoy the weather. But I do think what's going to be the iceberg where we have to confront this. We're forced to actually acknowledge the problem. It's going to be the election. You're going to have Trump saying crazy stuff. You're going to have Biden doing nuts. It's going to,
DeSantis.
and we
It's about
won't
to
be
be-
able to
yeah.
know what's real and what's fake to the point where we're going to have to assume all of it's fake. Dude, I looked at the judge that I work with. You could see
All
it's the
of it is-
generational difference. I look at her and I go, what are we going to do when this comes? What are we going to do when this thing comes to head? And, you know, in the court of law, one of the biggest pieces of evidence is video evidence. It's one of the most heavily relied upon
true.
pieces of evidence, but it's going to become one of the most difficult things to evaluate as real or legitimate. You know what she looked at me and said?
You
She
just
goes,
give a lot of criminals a lot
well,
of
you know
idea."
what? We've got FBI software that can, you know, check the metadata and determine if this is real or not. But here's the scary part about that, Ricky, is now I have to have blind faith in a program I don't know or understand and had nothing to do with its creation. So the government
Or a
is going to
system, like-
supply us
And we're
with,
guilty until proven innocent already. So
totally, right?
Oh, my God.
So again, now you'll be able to create a video. It's going to go into this magical program that, believe me, we have integrity at heart. We care about you, and we're doing this for you. And it's nothing but pure honesty. Why would we ever manipulate the data? We would never do it for our own benefit. So now I got to blindly expect you to use this program, it be honest, and determine the outcome of this evidence and, isto facto, the case itself.
Nope.
So I think what we're going to experience is
like-
once it becomes immeasurable, all of it will be gone. It will be unusable.
So we're going to start, it's just going to be DNA is the most
I
compelling.
think so, but also let's agree, what made our society increasingly more safe?
Was
Cameras,
and
and they
laws
always
and
keep
testing, just extra stuff to make
security.
sure. Yeah, security. Yeah.
So what they all say is, I think it's like 4 days with the grid being down, the world goes to hell, and everybody starts just stealing and looting and killing each other. And it's because Automart, AutoZone, Walmart, all these places, they can hold down the fort of anarchy, just looting and crime, for a few days. But the point at which you've got no evidence, you've got no video, no technology for the sirens to go off at the front of the store, nothing. It's like about 3 to 4 days, everything comes tumbling. So that's the other major fear is, when I say that, that's the whole power grid. That's your ability to charge your phone. That's everything. But I do think there's going to be a point where law and order and civility is going to have a real hard time keeping itself grounded in a world where we can't use video. I mean, look at George Floyd. Justice only found itself because other people were able to hold it accountable. At the point at which you can't do that, or we can't tell if it's real or not.
Yep, we're kind of screwed. We're kind of screwed. But it's scary. It's scary just the fact because like the system is already hard enough already, and then your alibi is just got to be super tight now. I don't know. You gotta have like 20 freaking witnesses everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, you have to check in with everybody.
No, what you got to do is be on TikTok Live 24/7, so everybody
streaming. Like I was watching this thing on YouTube. This stalker was following a streamer. She was willing to walk through all of Thailand, and the streamers caught it. She didn't caught it.
Wow.
And when they pointed out, she started recognizing, like, she would stop, he would stop down the street and wait till she passed and come up. And they called the cops, like, all over the world in Thailand. The cops came up, and no one knew what happened to him. Oh, nope. Like, a couple days ago, he got checked into a mental hospital.
Holy cow.
I don't know. It's scary. We just got to live with our eyes, man. Get off our phones. Start opening up our eyes again. Focus on these AI. This AI it's just progressing too fast.
All right, so we went down the road of AI. Let's bring it back to
the Neuralink.
Right. The brain capacity, brain interface computers. I mean, that's the end of the world as we know it. I mean, come on. Here's what's going to happen, and you've heard this conversation because you've quoted Joe Rogan and Charlemagne. But what you're going to see is, first let's make the first comment, then I'll ask you the question. But the comment is this. You have this chip that can plug you into the human hive and enhance your capabilities beyond the ceiling of a human to the nth degree. Imagine just you go into the hospital, they take you to a back room, you come back, do like 2 days of rehab, and you are magically more brilliant than Albert Einstein ever was.
What was that movie? The guy was paralyzed, and they gave him the thing, and he was controlling, then he did the code, and the AI took over his body. Y'all drop in the comments.
Man. Really?
Yes.
That is wild.
And the AI went back and let him kill the creator.
Whoa.
Because the creator was already started to stop him. Y'all have to know this movie. Nope, it's not iRobot. It's not iRobot. No, that's a classic. That was alright.
That's a good
You're young blood. You don't know nothing about that.
It's a classic.
But I don't know.
But what a wild concept.
Yeah.
Like, again, I don't want to get in the way of a guy with paralysis and their ability to reintroduce themselves to society. I'm all for that.
The technology is so dangerous, we don't know when it might
Here's what's going to happen, dude. You're going to have a fractured society where you have these super high-functioning, almost alien-like humans that will surpass. Like, if I
handle that power.
No,
that's the scary part about it. There's people out here doing loony things without all this knowledge already, and they be
also. How much control can this computer have? Like, do you control the computer, or is there ever a time where they can stop you from having a particular thought? They could stop you from taking on a particular action.
Even have that in your head where someone can control, like, shut down this thought.
But again, what's going to happen is you're going to have a small trickle. Few people have it, then a lot more people have it. Then employers are like, oh my God, the capacity of this person is 1 billion times higher than.
Because it's already in the hand.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Pay for it, open your doors.
But why would I pay the same amount as an employer? Why would I pay the same amount for some layman that doesn't have the chip versus some supercomputer that can take on like 3 different jobs, like 3 persons' jobs at once?
Okay, yeah.
So then now you don't have job opportunities. Now you don't have the ability to pay pay for food and feed your family. At some point you go, I have to do this. I have to take the next step just to stay relevant in existence, or I'm going to be one of those rat people that obsolete, forgotten by society, exiled, and this leads me to my question. Is this the mark of the beast?
That's what they always say. That's what I've been hearing since I was a kid. The more technology stuff or like experimental stuff that happened in the world, they'll be like, yo, this been happening. I'm not the most biblical or Bible person. I grew up going to church, but don't hold me on to hold my faith. But like, they be saying a lot of this technology stuff is like slowly taking over. The first AI generated thing that we saw that blew up was the evolution of human, and you see how that it went like sentient, like devilish, like scary. So if once we lose our right as people to control our own self, it's the mark of the beast. Like anything that hinder your whole morals and your own like perspective to live freely and willingly, it's not good. It's the devil's work.
It's the devil's work.
That's all I'm just gonna leave it. It's the devil's work. Because the point of being human and being alive is to make free will choices. I'm not saying everyone's gonna make a good free will choice or make the same decisions. You're supposed to have the same moral compass as you, but that is part of being human. It lets you know if you're gonna go left or right based off your own moral compass. And if you lose that shit or EMP go off and fry your chip, like what the freak?
That's it too,
That's
dude.
too risky.
How do you know that thing can't be hijacked? What happens?
Risky.
What
Like your
happens if
cars.
it gets fried?
They hijacking cars.
Dude, do you remember a day where you used to be able to take a magnet across your computer screen and you'd break
blank.
the computer? What happens if I just took a
put it up in
magnet
his brain.
and you're like,
Glitch out.
Yeah,
Glitch
dude.
out, bro. And he never thinks that he's a sociopath now.
Yeah,
like, he
dude.
doesn't. And how do you try a person like that?
or he's a vegetable.
How do you fry that too?
What happened? Okay.
Like if something
Let's just say
fries
Elon Musk does 10 chips in 10 people.
Yeah.
One of them comes out like the classic Ted movie. You ever seen the movie Ted?
Yes, Ted the
Where
teddy bear.
At the end of the movie where he's like, you gotta put the stuffing in wrong, but I still love you. And then he's like, I'm just like,
Yep.
that is gonna happen to somebody. Somebody's coming out of it and they're like,
You kind of messed up with the chip, but I can definitely access Instagram quicker.
And that doesn't make sense because everyone stay who you are, man. You don't need anything. It's something to implant in you to make you better. You don't need. It was never made to access that part. Then
I'm also
that's
curious.
what makes people gifted. Like certain people have certain mind
gonna say.
capacity. You know what I mean? Certain people don't, and that's what makes us individual. If we're all on the same wavelength, how are we gonna stand apart? How are we gonna the next TikTok star? How are you gonna blow up if you're like everybody else? You know, you got.
So I think you're scratching on something that's very interesting. You want to so again, there's some people that are more gifted than others, but even those that aren't also brings some other new perspective, and it also we all complement each other in its own way. But there's an acknowledgement that some people have more gifted talents and capabilities than others. It's true. My question for you is this: in a technology like this, where we put a chip in your brain, it gives you higher capacity. Mm-hmm. Is there a ceiling to it? This is the philosophical question. If I'm like somebody that is a stronger speaker or a quicker thinker, if I put in that chip, am I able to make these connections quicker? Am I able to curate this information in a stronger capacity? Or is it kind of like a slap all where it's just like you get it and you have access to infinity?
The Lucy
Right.
mindset.
Like, can you take somebody that has Down syndrome? Can you take somebody that is just, lower level average academics? Can you take somebody that's honors or high capacity and they all reach the same spot? Or is it you come in with a little bit higher of a deck so you come out a little bit further with the technology?
All right, think about it. Like they say Elon Musk have the bergs. If you watch Flagrant 2, the bergs,
bergs. He's got the bergs, eating
if he had
hamburgers.
this at a young age, is he still going to be the same Elon Musk that want to go to the moon and wants to create selfless drive in the tunnels to make efficient? Or he's just going to be like everybody else that's just on the same wavelength, same chip?
Or what happens
How much of an individual are you still going to be with something that's enhancing you instead of you like really?
I think you really
going through
touched on
your-
something. I think, a development like cure for cancer, a development like world peace, those seem like a fool's dream, an impossible feat. But what compels somebody to take on that dream and fight for that is somebody who who is a little bit foolish, but that also has the wherewithal to dream
yeah.
and take us there. So what happens when you know everything and that little bit of foolishness gets snuffed out? You read all the philosophy there is to read. You are aware of the world politics to a depth that you could otherwise never reach, and you realize this is unwinnable. You'll never get Israel and Pakistan to befriend each other. It's over, and you never even attempt the feat because the technology gave you this perspective that it's also going to implant in every other person that has access to infinity.
All right, you know what it's going to be like? It's going to be like, say the regulation is you can have it when you're 18. By 30, your life is going to be dull. It's like going to be the movies you see the vampires surviving thousands of years. They know everything, know anything to do. And you're gonna want that regular fulfillment, and you're gonna have to just take back time and just take that shit out and go really search, because you're gonna already know.
Do you think there's an off switch? You could turn it off, like you could just like boop, like I pull an AirPod out of my ear and the music stops. Can I just like touch the back of my head?
Ex-wife comes in with, you just have it on. When you have it on, you do what you want. When you take it off, you take it off.
Dude, I think that's gonna be infinitely attractive to the world.
That's way better. I'm already attracted to that.
It's the limitless pill without the side effects of a pill.
And you can turn it off when you want to turn it off. You don't have to overstimulate yourself to something or anything. You know what I mean?
But why would you not do that? Right?
Because they're crazy people out here.
What if I told you the mark of the beast didn't have to be a permanent tattoo?
I believe that.
Like it's a removable mark. Plug in when you want. Go to the lakeside beach whenever you want.
Because first it started with piercings. That's the mark of the beast. Then it was tattoos.
Yeah. How funny is that? How funny is
Nah.
But how long until your tattoo is able? You've seen the microscopic type of chips. They'll tattoo it into your body. I'm gonna make it look like a rose. Or a lady with big voluptuous chests. Whatever you want. You want it to be the mountain landscape. It also can tell you exactly.
Let's go with some Tony Stark. Some Nanite ink. Whatever
That's
you're
what I'm
feeling
saying,
today,
man.
You just switch.
Damn, man, he just changed the way.
Wow,
man, your arm's a moving billboard.
Scary world.
And we're gonna live it, dude. We're gonna live it.
So, all right. So AI is getting so crazy, right? You're gonna start walking into stores, and instead of there's we see this instead of there's a mannequin, it's gonna be a virtual screen, and your face gonna be on that man. You're gonna see your clothes already right when you walk in. Just read your face,
Your body shape,
everything. It tells you this way,
dude. It is crazy that all of this technology, while it is down the main road of enhancing your life, it's perfectly paralleled with maximizing marketing schemes.
And destruction.
Oh yeah,
This is just the control.
Consume.
All right. Do you think AI is already smart enough to where it's saying like government is already like, ain't it?
Oh yeah.
And okay.
And humans, where we laugh that this is like Starnet from Terminator, and then weeks after it's talking like Starnet from Terminator, and you're like, okay, let's not give this thing legs and guns.
You used to watch Disney growing up?
Of course.
Remember Smart Home?
Oh, dude.
AI taking over the house?
Dude, I laugh all the time. I brought it up again this past week, but there's no better meme on the internet than it's a lady in black and white, and she's on a old phone, and she's talking to her neighbor, and she's like, I don't think I should say that over the phone. They may have wiretapped the phone, and I don't want them to hear it. And then the next frame is a lady in like the modern age. She's in her kitchen, and she's looking at her Amazon Alexa, and she goes, wiretap, can you give me a good brownie recipe? And it's like, man.
But like, all right, safe home is a perfect like line. How it helped the human. I step on my floor, I get warm, warm floors and stuff like that. But where is the turn off? They had a turn off switch. Where you said it earlier. Where
I got to be able to pour water on it. I love that statement.
Turn off switch. How is it?
There isn't one.
It's impossible.
Like I said, the problem with this is its roots. It becomes Ultron. Yeah. It becomes Ultron. It's in everything. So
It's gonna be in your soundboard for God's sake. And
It-
you
it's
plug
straight
in
up.
a mic and then it connects to
have you ever watched the movie? It's with Shia LaBeouf and it's like Eagle Eye or something.
Yep,
And
yep.
he can't
His
go
brother
anywhere.
died. Yep.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Like Eagle Eye is the movie. Or is the life we're living right now.
Facts.
Everywhere this dude went, some guy is following him. He's able to know where he goes, where he's at. He's like, how is this
A
dude?
reflection.
Exactly.
Boom, boom.
And it's this guy is hacking into
Mm-hmm.
every camera and able to follow him on this rat race across the country to come to find out that it's the government's supercomputer AI
And the
pretending
government
to
didn't
be
even
this
know.
villain following him, but it was just a computer that was able to
government-
tap into every
And the
piece of
government
technology.
didn't even know.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's in the shenanigans.
Oh man,
It's a scary world. It's
All
a
right,
wild world.
I got another question for you. So you brought up the statement about regulation, and you were kind of proposing like, well, you can't get it plugged into your head until you're 18, and then we continued. But it's like, do you think they'll have a policy like that? First answer the question, because then I'll get to my statement. Do you think they'll have a policy where you can't do it
because
until
there's
you're
regulation
18?
on everything. And
I'd
if
like
he had
to
to
think
wait
so.
for the FDA, he gonna, spend a little bucks.
What's interesting is this conversation, clearly the line is blurred between this plug-in tech that enhance these BCIs, the brain enhancement computers,
Yeah.
and AI, and they kind of merge with each other. It's kind of like this infinite technology that kind of, or this infinite plug into the information of the world combined with supercomputer gives us all these opportunities. Here's where, a Rethink Solutions that I did with John in New
yeah.
York, and we did this on AI raising children. And China just came out with all this technology where robots are little characters that can
Oh my
talk to them
God.
and teach them, and they become their friend. And they have all this technology. They'll put a band on
Yep,
that'll
for
show
school.
when they're thinking outside of the realm of what they're supposed to.
Learning, yep.
And if they get fleeting thoughts, they get reprimanded. If they look away from their exam or they get distracted, they get reprimanded. And so they're using this technology to build stronger students. And like I heard Joe Rogan admit, he's like, this, of course, is going to work. You're going to make superhumans, but you're also going to lose the creative individuality that makes these kids who they are. You're going to make computer kids. So you might not find it in all places where you have this put in children in the ages of under 18.
Yeah.
But you're going to have the philosophy from a China, from another foreign country, a Europe that's trying to be a player in the economic or the world arena again. They'll go, yeah, but if we put this in our kids in the developmental stages at like 8, they become even greater. So, like, that incentive is
But
going
by
to be there.
18, that kid is just going to know all, and he's going to search for more. And there's not so much more on earth you can really search for. Like, you're going to have all the
Interesting
knowledge. That's what I
point.
was saying. By 18 to 30, you're going to know so much. What else are you going to really fulfill for? Like, you're just going to
let
be
me
a
ask you
zombie.
this. So there's people in this world that aren't on the pursuit of becoming some brilliant person.
Okay.
Right? They're contentious. They're content with just being, average
Yeah.
or even below average. Like,
Okay.
hey, listen, man, I know fishing and I know trucks and I love my life.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I love that.
So my question is, do you believe when you finally get plugged into the everything,
Yeah.
does it innately create that drive in anyone to become like, I need the more, I need the more?
See,
Then you
okay.
hit the ceiling and you realize there is no more. Do you? Does
But
this-
we're human. We're going to always want
right?
more.
So the question is, does it lead to
It's just-
a bigger mental health problem to where I need more, I can't get more, I kill myself. Does this lead to a
may
place
lead to
where
the next generations that makes us colonize Mars?
right?
I just literally thought about
That would be sweet. At the end of the
But
day, all the
it's-
chip people, in a perfect world,
Yeah.
all the chip people that don't like all of us
Yeah.
non-chip people, they're able to build a spaceship,
they're
leave,
gonna
and build
leave
a...
us? Yeah.
And then we'll stay
Sweet.
here. We'll be the rock people. I will happily pound rock down here.
they're gonna want more, and you cannot find that fulfillment through knowledge. knowledge is great. Knowledge is a key to success.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. What people with knowledge know that like outside, there's other things outside of just learning.
Sure.
You gotta be able to implement stuff in real world and everyday life. Like you can't just learning your whole life and not putting something toward what you're learning for. What's the point? You're studying to be a doctor till you're 60. What's the point? It doesn't make sense. So what is all this learning you're doing, and what is it going to fulfill in you?
And so that's my question. So let's just say you take a regular, I just like fishing in trucks. You take that guy, you plug a chip in his head. He now becomes part supercomputer. I believe the nature of the human, now you've awakened a fire that wasn't there otherwise, and now he becomes exactly how you described. He wants more. He keeps growing, wants more. I got to believe, so that goes back to what I was bringing up earlier. Right. But is his ceiling of most, the maximum, is it the same as your straight A honor student? He gets the chip. I imagine there's a ceiling. It's like that you know all that you can know. When I was a kid, I used to have this philosophical concept of the God computer. Mm-hmm. I always thought it'd be so cool that I would love to go to a God computer and go, how many individual French fries have I eaten in my existence? Yeah. And it would go, you fatty, you ate a gajillion. Yeah. Or whatever it is. Like, how many times did I say I love you to my mom? And it just goes boop, and it gives you the God computer. It knows everything that's unmeasurable unless you could be in another dimension looking in. Right? This gives you that access. Okay. You can that metaphor I brought up.
It goes to Black Mirror. When you can remember everything and learn everything.
Yeah, the history one.
And
like where you could record in your eyes.
Yeah, record with your eyes. But they still was learning through it, and the AI was helping them in their everyday life.
Yep.
Like, that guy had everything perfect. His wife had everything perfect. But the human instinct still took over and did something, cheated.
That's a great point.
So are we still going to have the control to make those little human decisions that make us as individuals?
Wow.
That makes us stand out? Or are we all just going to be literally just knowledgeable zombies walking around here?
That's what I think it inevitably becomes. Knowledgeable zombies.
What is the interesting factor of that in life? Like, what do we must be the goal, to go colonize Mars if we're just trying to be the best knowledge we can and not implement it with something. Because
at the end of the day, I do think the
fool's dream, stop pollution and world hunger with it. If that, I don't know, like.
but the chimp pounding rocks all the way to the Roman in a robe, to the Mongol, to the lamp carriers in Europe, to now computer people in a global world.
Yeah.
I do agree that I imagine there's an evolution where it inevitably leads to, we got to become intergalactic. We got to be able to move. We got to be able to expand. I don't know. Here's the deal.
But is that the point there why they're creating these Neuralinks? So
I don't know if it's the point.
Elon think we're stupid enough, or is it because of the...
he definitely thinks we're stupid.
Like, for the people that's like less fortunate as everyday able-bodied, is like...
I think we as humans, like, again, what separates us from nature, separates us from animals, is we look at the less fortunate, the weaker, those that need help, and we innately want to help them. We want to bring them with us. We want to find medicines, technological advancements, whatever we can do to bring them
Anyone's sick, penicillin come a long way.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I could imagine this becomes a technology that really enhances our ability to raise up the weaker links. I don't know if it inevitably or it naturally is the goal, like, all right, this takes us to Mars. Or that's why we're doing this. We have too many stupid people, and that's the only way for us to get there. But I just think that's a natural evolution of what we're doing. Okay. Like, we're making computers. But then, again, dude, there's this weird thing where it's like, why did we only go to the moon once? Why did we destroy all the equipment afterwards?
And we got better technology now. Why we ain't back
there?
That's
what I'm told, but we can't recreate it. There's some really weird stuff. And there's been talks that NASA's going to do a moon landing part 2. And it's like, listen, I beg that you do that. Please put this stuff to rest.
Oh, no, we won't believe it. AI, deepfake.
Yeah, but for real though,
Yo,
man.
we won't believe it. Conspiracy theory is gonna be way more crazier now.
Speaking of conspiracy theories, let's pivot. I'm gonna bring up two final headlines that leads us kind of with a final thought from George Carlin.
But before, people did not believe the moon landing was real back when
it happened.
The grainy, you know what I'm saying, with the grainy footage. Now AI's coming, better picture, everything. If it's too crisp, there's no grains or nothing jumping, it ain't real, bruv. I'm saying it ain't real.
I love that, dude. You can't even do it. If you do it too good for us too, I still ain't gonna believe it.
And that is a wild world. It's wild.
And you're right though. All right, so let's move on to. Have you seen Senator Dianne Feinstein?
No.
All right, so this lady, half of her face is just like dead. I know that's a crude way of putting it, but I'm gonna get to that. But so the headline is Senator Dianne Feinstein back from an absence of several months while she was battling shingles. Okay. It's looking like the picture of health. She was interviewed by a Benjamin Orsekes of the Los Angeles Times, and she appears to have no memory whatsoever of being away for 3 months. All right, listen to this interview.
AI.
All right.
She just got an AI transplant,
This
y'all.
is going to blow your mind. Dude.
And
First off. Yeah, dude. All right, let me.
Yo, she looked like Michael Jackson.
All right, you ready
like
to listen to
1,000
this?
times worse.
So I'm going to have it placed better in the video. But
What has the response from your colleagues been like? What have the well wishes? What have you heard
What have I heard about what?
about your return? How have they felt about your
No,
return?
I haven't been gone.
Okay.
You should follow me. I haven't been gone. I've been working.
You've been working from home, is what you're saying?
No, I've been here. I've been voting. Please, either know or don't know.
As you heard, the senator seemed unaware. She'd been absent for 3 months.
She looked like she working into a casket.
what's with?
So she wasn't walking, right? She was
No.
wheelchairing.
She's being pushed around in a wheelchair. What's with these senators from California that look like the keeper of the crypt,
It
barely
goes
alive?
back too much sun. I don't know, too much sun. But it goes back to what we said like 2 years ago on our improv live, bro.
Too much sun.
There should be an age limit on these politicians.
Dude, totally,
yo.
man.
Because you're kind of out of touch. After a certain while, you're a little bit out
What
of
did we
touch.
talk about? Listen, if you can't stay on touch with a Wii, you ain't going to be staying on touch with legality when it comes to an Oculus.
And especially if, you have to be pushed around. You're not going to be staying awake for a whole lecture, a whole sitting for a bill, or, you know what I mean? You got to take potty breaks.
Listen, man, I'm speaking in crude terms, but literally half your face is totally dead. Just
pretty
drooped,
much
gone. And that's my problem is you've got Mark Zuckerberg in front of a congression of people, and we love Ruth Bader Ginsburg, but in her decrepit final days, she's sitting there like, what is a like? And it's like, lady, we're well beyond that. You finally get to interview Mark Zuckerberg, one of the most powerful people in the world, controlling foreign elections, and you're talking about what likes are. It's like, lady, I want to talk about his algorithm. We're well beyond...
No, she's probably a smart woman, you know what I mean, in her prime. In her heyday,
when there was
way
no
smarter
chips
than
in our
me,
brain.
You know what I mean? So, but to ask what is a like, I like you, bro. you know what I mean? You know, if you someone want to be stupid, she probably don't even know what algorithm is.
That's what I'm saying. So we can't even get to the third or fourth or fifth layer of this deep political conversation because you're still at the surface.
What's the age? I feel like the age limit should be from literally 30 to 65, retirement age.
I would agree with that, considering if you're going to tell me there's an age limit to where I can't do it too early, then there's got to be because of
18?
capacity. If capacity is you have to be X years old to do it.
I'll say 18.
then you got to be your capacity. We got to agree your capacity declines at a certain and I don't want you being phased out when your capacity's in question. I want you phased out well before that when you're at your peak. And other people around you are also
aware
forced
of shit going wrong. You're aware of your surroundings. You're aware of like the culture around you, the everyday American life. You know what I mean? But so if you're at a certain point, a certain age, you're gonna be worrying about running to the bathroom each. Right,
dude.
You know what I mean? Like,
the best
I'm
joke.
young,
I don't mean
that.
to crash a guy's great party, but we went and saw Shane Gillis live. He had the best joke ever.
Okay.
Best Joe Biden joke was, I gotta get up for this one.
Our best friend.
He goes. Joe Biden is like a Roomba. Every time he finishes his speech, just.
Yeah, wall. It's a wall in a wall.
The dude, and he's a Roomba, man.
The best, if y'all don't know, just type in Easter Joe Biden wall.
Yeah.
That's the perfect one. You see the security goes like this. He's like,
dude, I love they got an FBI agent in the Easter Bunny costume. He's like, get away. They're asking you real questions.
It's scary. I don't know. They're never gonna pass because there's too many people way over the age, like 65 that we're saying. But if you can go into the military, you should be able to be in the politics.
Listen, it wouldn't be the Rethink Tank coming back if I didn't bring up trannies somewhere.
Oh,
so
let's go. I love this.
I gotta say, this is the crux of my trans position. I'm gonna lean on this always, and this is truly how I feel. I was on a panel in a debate with 3 other trans people. None of them were able to address this point for me.
Okay.
I go, totally aside from the trans conversation.
I'm not trans, but I'm a very open-minded person like Alex.
I'm glad you gave that caveat because the audience was curious this whole time, but I'm glad we ironed that out for everybody.
Don't let the ponytail fool you. You know what I mean? Chill out, you know? My girl might whoop y'all, you know what I mean? Chill out.
Exactly, yeah. I want to mess with Ricky. So if I asked them, I go, so totally aside from the trans conversation, just in like a policymaker legal consideration conversation, not even thinking about trans people yet, would you agree with why, I'm going to use the word grape, why there is statutory grape, right? Yeah. So there's just grape, right?
Yeah,
it's a crime. And it means that you did something beyond the person's will.
Yep.
Okay. Then statutory grape is, even if this person consents and wants to, it is beyond their capacity to consent. The legal basis, there is a policy basis based on biology that the frontal lobes are not developed enough, and based on science, this person's brain does not have the capacity to consent. Okay.
Or
person
be making
on the panel,
decisions.
do you agree that these types of policies should exist because the biology of this child is so vulnerable and still developing? Yes. So if the person cannot consent to a sexual activity, how can they also now magically have the capacity to cutting off their hot dog?
I don't know. Or getting a glizzy.
I
don't know.
Getting a glizzy from the weenus meat on your elbow.
Like, okay, I'm not gonna lie. We meet some very, like, over years, I'm pretty sure you met, even in middle school, we met some kids that's way weird, like, at our age, they were way more ahead of their time. Like, the way they carry yourself and everything.
And developmentally.
Yeah.
You know they were more developed.
But I'm pretty sure they don't know how long they have on this earth. Like, we're not thinking, we're thinking graduation. We're thinking college graduation. We're thinking in increments. At that age, ain't no way I was thinking when I was 30. If I was thinking when I was 30, I was like, I see him. He's cool. I want to be like him when I'm 30. But there ain't no way I'm like, I want to clip my glizzy off and
But also, the real problem is how many of those people or kids that liked wearing a dress and liked all of that grow up to just end up being gay. I didn't realize this, and I'm so thankful my hormones weren't jacked up and I didn't have any surgical preventions because it developed out of me. Also, when are we going to acknowledge in the conversation that a trans person is 6 times more likely to be autistic? Also, then coming back to capacity. Wow. I don't want to be punching down and beating one topic of people that I think truly need our help. Yep. I think we're coddling an illness and we need to help people. But the reason I even brought that up is because when we talk about GRAPE and when we talk about this type of consideration statutorily, there is a deep understanding about the biology of our brain, and it actually that's really the whole basis of the whole thing. So if we can say you don't have the ability to make these major decisions and truly evaluate your risks right from wrong. With your own body. Exactly. With your own body. You know what I'm saying? The government's still going to say no because we know your brain doesn't give you that ability.
And, us as adults know better already because we are past those increment stages in our life.
But at what point are we going to acknowledge, okay, so you didn't have the capacity as it was built yet. At what point are we going to acknowledge when that capacity starts breaking down? It is like a bell curve. And I want the person representing us blindly and speaking for our interests to be at the middle of that bell curve. As you're going up and getting smarter, and as you're coming down and getting dumber, I don't want none of that. Yeah. And there's a reason for it.
I feel like there should be a law like there should no child under the age of 18 should be able to
get him brain chip.
Oh, not even just transition. I thought we were still on transition.
No, we are.
We should, it should be after 18. Once you military vote, you had you're still not at full brain, but you will feel better. The child will feel better in yourself that they made that decision at that age instead of something cool. The parent he's okay with and doing because I was growing my hair because my dad was growing his hair at that time. Yeah. Once I was 18, so you know what I mean. Yeah. I made that own decision on my own, and it felt better. It wouldn't have felt right. No, I cut it because he was cutting it, and I regretted it. So at 18, I start growing it back, and it felt better growing it because he didn't tell me to start growing it, and I didn't cut it because like we did in the past. So let's not snip my hair as a reference, snip them when they're that age. Let's wait till they're 18 and let them make that decision because they will feel better morally and long-termly better instead of 18 and seeing new friends and living life experience, living in the world and start feeling being treated different because of a decision your parent helped you made at a younger age. You're going to start a little sieve of resentment and a little anger and goes to the mental. Your mental is going to decline. Not everyone, but there's a lot out here.
Dude, totally.
The exception don't make the rule. So.
And what are we going to do, bringing it back, what do you do when the person that makes decisions for your freedom, your life, your day-to-day, looks like they made a wax figure of her and then left it outside in the sun and half of it's melting?
And it goes back to you and me has to start pushing no one really think about the age limit thing. There needs to be an age limit for these politics.
There needs to be age limits. Don't forget when Ted Cruz is the only one representing us that says, my job needs to be limited. I want term limits. He's the only one calling for term limits. For a while, yep. So again, you got somebody like Nancy Pelosi. She's making millions by just bending us over a barrel and taking advantage of the market, the stock market. So the government's been compromised. Our representatives have been compromised. You've got old heads. Nancy Pelosi was there when Kennedy was elected. So it's she was. There's a picture of her in the White House as he was getting sworn in. So it's lady, you've been around too long, and you're out of touch.
You've been through too many things. You've been through the 70s. You've been through the hippies.
And this world's moving. It's moving too fast.
Exactly. Especially now. We can say that now. Maybe not back in the 90s and stuff.
Right.
But right now.
You're in the past.
You can't even catch up.
We're in a new world beyond you.
Who do you think we can push to start hashtagging, we need age limit? Who's at the right age right now? Buttigieg? Because, he part of the letters.
I love they looked at this guy and was like, listen, step aside. We'll give you some stupid job where you're in charge of the railroads, and you just stay there. You'll catch a check.
And we haven't heard nothing about Buttigieg.
Then the trains start crashing in Ohio, and they're
Oh,
like,
my God.
"Hey, buddy, we need you. Time to come from the pitcher's box." And he's like, "Wait, I got to do something. Wait, you told me nothing ever had to happen at this job."
I heard about Buttigieg since the run-in, man.
So again, you've got schmucks that shouldn't be in political positions that are there just because of the political game of step aside so we can succeed and all this other stuff. Again, Nancy Pelosi taking advantage
telling
of
other Democrats not to run because they already got Joe Biden.
Exactly.
That was just like, come
Dude,
on.
look at Bernie Sanders. Tell me you're not spitting in the face of the millions of people that were supporting you when you just bowed out of the race and put up a Satanist criminal like Hillary. Like, you should vote for her. What?
They say the black vote is an important vote in America, right?
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
If y'all following the black Democratic right now, Democrats ain't rocking with our boy, you know what I mean? Joey B, you know what I mean? Ain't rocking
Weekend
with
at
Joey
Bernie's.
B, you know what I mean? It's like Weekend at Bernie's. Like, it's not rocking. And for y'all just to blatantly come out and spin, like, literally, I feel like the American people face and say he doesn't have a competition, even though there's been so much stuff that's been, like, at tense within the own party and the people, and say no competition, he's just up and running. That's kind of not even fuck self. It's kind of just shit in their face, right? Like, we got all the control. Whatever you say,
but
don't
right.
matter.
And
Just go to the poll, like you always say, and vote blindly because this is what your parents been voting on for years. It ain't right. People are getting smarter. And maybe, you know what? Maybe this is good because
I think it is. It's overexposing people.
because they're out of touch. They don't see that people are actually picking up on their crap, and maybe this is by 2030 the change will be here.
Dude, that's totally true. Let's get to the last. I got one last
We
headline.
go from trans
so that
to politics to
but
trans.
again, right now we're
and
talking
everything
about
is intertwined, which is scary.
look at the powers that be, the small percentage that are calling the shots and pulling the strings. Who they are, the type of people we're dealing with. So I want to go to one last thing. There's this, some would call conspiracy theorist leader. Her name's Whitney Webb, and she's been, there is no person more well-read on these conspiracy topics and all of this. She's at
been
the
on
tip of the
JRE?
spear. No, but she's been on a couple other ones
Okay.
around her, or that are around him that are friends with Joe. But again, I just want you to consider this one thing in regards to the 4 billionaires subpoenaed in the J.P. Morgan Epstein case that's recently going on right now. So check this out.
Epstein at state had to pay out like $65 million or something like that to victims or something.
Yes, and that was a recent lawsuit, but again, no justice, nobody sitting behind bars. Again, Ghislaine Maxwell gets found criminally, she's criminally convicted of her crimes, but then also nobody's going to tell us who she trafficked kids to.
Yeah, bro.
You're
The
convicted of
Victoria's
trafficking.
Secret man that was running like he was owned Victoria's Secret. Like,
Well, no, let's get to it. Yes,
Okay.
Victoria's Secret, but then also this goes so deep. It's in J.P. Morgan, J.P. Morgan Chase, one of the biggest, banks in America. So check this out.
Yeah, I think that's fair because if you look at some of this information coming out, as particularly of the J.P. Morgan case, there's a lot of powerful people that are potentially on the hook for enabling his sex trafficking crimes, particularly Jamie Dimon, one of the most powerful bankers on Wall Street. So, that's hugely significant in and of itself. And again, some of the other people that have been subpoenaed as part of that case, the two co-founders of Google, Sergey Brin and Larry Page, and apparently Larry Page is so concerned about being served papers in this court case that he can't even be found. They've tried 5 different addresses and can't find him anywhere. And that's really astounding when you consider the ties of Google to the CIA from its founding, its collaboration with mass surveillance, and the fact that the New Albany Company, which was incorporated by Jeffrey Epstein, owns the land on which major data centers for Google, Amazon, and Facebook sit on. And no one's talking about that stuff because at the same period of time that happened, Epstein was setting up this insane DNA data mining company that he called a biomedical Google. in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and he wanted to sequence the genes of all these young Virgin Islanders, and he started funding education initiatives for like little kids and teens. Very suspect when it's Epstein, right? Because he wanted them to basically run servers for this company for him, and he wanted to train them from an early age on. I mean, there's so much crazy stuff here, and as you start picking away at it, I think it becomes really clear why they're focusing so much on his sex crimes. And again, it's not just his sex crimes, as they occurred over the course of his lifetime and career. The mainstream media focus is specifically on sex crimes from 2000 to 2006. And there's no discussion of what Epstein, very little discussion of what Epstein was doing after he was arrested the first time, and what he was doing around the time he was arrested the second time. Because I think it's fair to say that the Department of Justice of the United States wasn't interested in justice for Epstein victims when they arrested him and, helped cover up his apparent murder in 2019.
Wow. I mean, when I talk to you, it's a little like talking to RFK. Like that, it makes me realize that this is deep.
Okay, so let's consider this. She's talking about all this suspect activity. We're talking about senators that are dead, presidents that are dead, senators and representatives that are manipulating the stock market, manipulating foreign governments. They're in bed with big tech. Look at the Twitter files. You've got now these banks and everything involved with the sex trafficking of children and all of this stuff. It seems totally embedded in the bedrock of everything that is our culture. What do we do about it?
Okay. See, I can't even answer. I'm going to have to answer a question with a question. I hate that. I hate it, but I'm going to have to. How do we get back politics to politics? What it was supposed to be without the big donors and
pure transparency.
Yeah.
And direct
knowledge of what's happening.
Here's what I think ways to solve this. Either a cap on campaign funding.
Okay.
I've raised this back in the old chapter of the Rethink Tank, so I'm glad to be bringing back old thoughts. But one thing that I think really solves our elections and these issues we're facing is instead of your money for campaigns coming from anybody that donates, we give a stipend to every individual American registered, and now you have to get your funding from the people. I can't just go to the swing states and focus on them because I won't have enough funding. So now I got to make sure that my attention touches all the people, and that's the only way that I'll be able to afford my campaign, but also get the reach I need to have success. And then
you got to visit every town, like you said before.
Exactly. And then the most important part is now your policies, your goals are no longer in the interest of the person that gave you $1 billion, but it's us. It stays with us, and there's no other manipulation outside of us.
I need to go look. This man teach me a lot, and that's one of them for the $1 stipend for everyone. That is one of the best ideas ever, and also fuck these two parties. We need to
break a two-party system.
Yes, it definitely need. We need 10. We need just Hunger Games parties. You know what I mean? And we just cut out who we don't like. Get to the cream of the crop.
That's what competition beats everything. So that's why they made a system with no competition. You get our two options: deal with it or just watch the show.
Yep, very true. And for Epstein, back to the Epstein thing, he was not this million. No one really knows how he got his money, but everyone knows how he got his money.
Exactly. Yeah, right. And what a statement.
All these people are in his book. It's not the first time we're hearing about it. It's not the first picture. I knew about Jeffrey Epstein before the trial and everything. I've been seeing this face a long time. Never could put the name to the face, but I always see this person around. I'm like a security guard. He's always in the background. And for it to come out and Epstein
He was the dude creeping in that girl's TikTok, little did you know. Ooh. In the background of her TikTok live.
Probably. Before there was TikTok, he probably was on the MySpace, on the Vines, finding the hot dancers and stuff like that. Have the managers out here.
Deshaun Watson.
That's my, you know what I mean? Go Browns. You're gonna... Go Browns.
Go Browns, baby.
What if Deshaun Watson come out of football and be a politician?
Oh, man. You voting for him?
I'm just thinking about the thoughts that will go behind it.
That is, I think, the day we're living the Idiocracy movie where
he's always been the clean-cut guy.
You're right.
So, and it's this little... and maybe it was a little
I
cold
think
thing
if he
they
can
had going on in Texas.
If I can sit him down and he can explain to me Israeli and Palestinian relations,
okay.
He's got my
but
vote.
people can learn that over time if you don't have
I'd
enough
like to hope.
concussion.
I'd like to hope. If you wanted
not
it.
enough concussion. You'd be all right. You'd be all right. But this Epstein's thing, like, it's scary, bro. It's scary of just how much we think we know because we have a cell phone, and then again, when something breaks, you really know that like people are really playing with your everyday life, like. A little decision to send freaking jets to Ukraine could have a fucking detriment factor for everyone, and we, the people, didn't really have a say in it.
True.
And we need to go back to where people need to go to start thinking as in, like, if I can control my own life, and you think you're in control, but you cannot control it, what's the point of really living a sane life or a peaceful life? Because, like, I'm a parent person. Everything's going to go to shit. That's what I think. But I'm trying my best to live the best moral life they can. But just knowing everything's going to go to shit, majority of people are starting waking up and just going to start giving up. And maybe this is where Neuralink goes in and start boosting. They just lay off so many people and just start giving out Neuralink like Obama phones back in the day. And, everybody's just Neuralinked up, bro. I don't know.
Dude, just like the vaccine, they're going to give you a free
That's what I'm saying.
cheeseburger if you put
earlier.
it in the back of your head.
When we said the chip with the hand, the employee is not going to hire the person without the chip. The vaccine, they did a little size of the vaccine. You're not going to get hired if you're not. And
it's
a lot of people
us.
had crumbled in the pandemic. And the people that survive out of the bear without getting the vaccine are literally slowly just getting back into working and integrating with going everywhere. So that's just a little size y'all got, and y'all should be scared because I'm scared. And I live every day paranoid.
I love it. I'm going to propose one last perspective. We've got this suspect activity, as Wendy Webb said, that's ingrained in every bit of our culture. I want to introduce George Carlin's his proposed approach to solving this problem. It's pretty extreme, but I want to hear your thoughts. All right?
If I had to say to you, what is the answer? I would say massive bloodshed. I really would. I don't really, honestly, deep down believe in political action. I think the system contracts and expands as it wants to. It accommodates these changes. I think the civil rights movement was an accommodation on the part of those who own the country. I think they see where their self-interest lies. They see a certain amount of freedom seems good, an illusion of liberty. Give these people a voting day every year so that they'll have the illusion of meaningless choice that we go like slaves and say, "Joe, I voted." The limits of debate in this country are established before the debate even begins, and everyone else is marginalized. They're made to seem either to be communists or some sort of disloyal person, a kook, there's a word, and now it's conspiracy. Say they've made that something that should not be even entertained for a minute, that powerful people might get together and have a plan. Doesn't happen. You're a kook. You're a conspiracy buff. So the only way you cure that, death, bloodshed. I don't advocate it, but I see that it's really the only.
That goes back to what we always say. The fight is not going to be the fight between race. It's going to be the fight between classes.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And we've been delusional to all of this. We don't have liberty as it's all an illusion.
It's not democracy. It's a representative republic.
Our freedom is really limited of what you're really free to do. You need the government approval for everything. So how really free are you? You can't travel without a license. There's certain. But I want to ask you, when did it start? When did this start? Was it when the 1920s before bootlegging, when it's okay, let's see if we can control them, taking away their liquor and how much control. When did this?
All right, man.
Because there was a
here's
switch.
The thing. Nobody
American
knows
history
that
wasn't-
answer. Nobody knows that answer. What's scary is, I'm that crazy conspiracy person because I've got this.
But conspiracy is
feeling,
good. There's some
like
truth
said,
in every conspiracy.
Conspiracy theorist was a term created by the CIA to dismiss people when they started doubting the Kennedy assassination. So now we've created a term that dismisses people, like George Carlin said. And how are you not? Like, how removed from this realm do you have to be to think that powerful people are not colluding with each other to make power greater?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to. I operate in a world where I entertain theories, but I don't adopt them as reality until it can actually be credited and measured. So because I could say, hey, I've never been in a spaceship and looked at a round globe, so I don't know. Yeah. But I'm also going to operate in a world where we're on a ball, there is a sun that goes around us, because those are the operative facts that make the most sense, that are the most compelling, and have an operative impact on my day-to-day life. Yeah. So because I entertain the possibility of these possible theories, doesn't mean I adopt them, doesn't mean I believe them.
Or you're crazy.
So one thing is, when you ask, well, where did this start? How did we get here? I think they muck up the conversation and the ability to learn about it for a reason. It makes us, it creates an inability for us to find common ground and actually try to siphon out what happened. Okay, what we know is the people that were brilliant enough to create this country, they either were good-willed from the beginning and they created something amazing that gave us an ability to fight back against the government and hold it accountable. But there's enough in it that shows that these were pagan people that might have had a more ritualistic approach.
Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones. The Masons. These are the people, look at the Rockefellers. Look at all there are families and
Rothschilds.
Like Rothschilds. At what point did these powerful people take control? Was it from the beginning? Was it transitioned? All we know is this whole thing, the game, definitely was from the beginning of government's ability to create perspective, whether that's with the radio, whether that's with TV, whether that's with the printing press. At the point at which they could create narratives and start creating perspective, what has totally shaken up their ability for 2 centuries to create ideologies and perspective was us connecting with each other.
Technology,
you could if there's a wall between us, your state's away. If your state's away, I have no if it takes me 3 weeks through the what is it, the Horse Express, whatever it was called. Like if it takes 3 weeks to 2 months for my letter to get to you to tell you, hey man, that Abe Lincoln guy is actually up to no good, or whatever the case may be, if that's what it takes, they can print a newspaper that gets to you 2 months before it gets, that my reality gets to you. Yeah. Now they've created a whole reality for a populace. What disarmed them was, I think the internet got away from them. They created this thing and they were like, oh, whoa,
Anybody
they're talking too much.
Upload from anywhere and everywhere and can actually see the thing is, seeing it at that time instead of seeing it 3 weeks later. Because you see it 3 weeks later, it's like, it already happened. Right. It's 3 weeks old. But when you see a freaking bombing happening 30 minutes ago, you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Straight up.
But you're so right, bro, because when you just named the Rothschilds and the Rockefeller, that's back to the railroad days, bro. I'm thinking like, damn, they had to be in politician pockets to make certain things.
Dude, look at Netflix. Like, now, I can't remember the family, but they are the family that fathered modern propaganda. Okay, well now, 50 years later, it's the same family that owns Netflix. Oh. Wow. It's like, okay, so you're telling me the platform that has 13-year-old twerking girls is, owned by the father of propaganda. Or the lineage of. Okay, so this has obviously been ingrained forever. How many decades is the media going to be lying to your face, bold-face, and getting caught without apologizing or correcting the record before you go, this might be an arm of the government and manipulating us?
But that's what we're seeing more and more, because stuff is just like, we see reality and then we see the narrative they're trying to bring.
Dude, how
And it
about
doesn't
this?
align with reality.
We're talking about an entity that controls our reality and our freedom that has gotten caught 100 years ago taking they put acid in the water for a small village of Americans, unbeknownst to them, just as an experiment. They were rats to the government. How were they able to do that? Those people weren't on the internet. They weren't able to make the rest of the world aware. This was a small, isolated case, and they were able to keep it isolated by not reporting it to the rest of the world. So these types of these nefarious actions have been taken forever.
Yes, that's true. Because if East Palestine, Ohio would have happened,
Boom.
We didn't know it until
They didn't report it until TikTokers were making it obvious.
We don't
for
know until
everybody.
50 years later. Oh, people have been dying for years and years from this, and it's been like 2 generations, and that's how we find out a lot of stuff. Like, yeah, that's very true, and that goes back to the big companies controlling the politician and controlling, having just a little, being on each little board to have a little say. Like, okay, we shouldn't have put this out today. Let's put it out tomorrow. Hey, Jim. They asked to make sure you don't mention it, but like we got to follow up on this one, and it's a slippery slope, and it's only a slippery slope if people start waking up.
If we, or if we make it a slippery slope to do, like
for them, yeah,
but also I think it's a slippery slope for us too,
especially now because we have. We can see the right
take
and
like
wrong.
George Carlin's perspective. If we push it to the breaking point
It's
to such a
bloodshed.
degree, it's going to lead to bloodshed.
Yes.
I look at this problem of corrupt politicians, corrupt power officials. It is deeply embedded like a wart. And I get that you can really only get it out if you totally burn it out all the way to its root.
Yeah.
You're never going to de-root this thing unless you totally kill it.
Yep.
I get it. But also, I've made this argument on the podcast before. I hate always resorting back to it, but I do have the position that I feel like bloodshed might end up being something that follows this, but I think the more important answer and approach is and always will be education.
Yep.
Now,
Education,
I don't know if that
knowledge,
means putting a chip in your brain to make you infinitely smarter.
Knowledge is being aware of your surroundings, reading up on stuff, not taking the first thing you hear, run with it, actually doing...
Asking questions, holding doubt, continue to investigate.
Having doubt is one of the biggest weapons you can. Because you having a doubt, you're going to ask a question here and there, and you're going to come to your own conclusion based off your own smartness. You know what I mean?
Totally.
I'm a very stupid person, but I listen to smarter people than me, and I sound like I know something because I listen to the smarter people than me.
But also, it's the company you keep, man. You surround yourself
Facts.
with people that want to grow. And again, I'm never going to sit here and go, I got a leg. I've always grow with you. I always learn from you. And it's you got to have an open heart, be willing to. There's always going to be something someone else has to offer you.
Very true.
If you close the door to that, you're only hurting yourself.
Facts. And that's what I said to Marcus earlier. Just keep being a nice person you are. Anybody that you just got to keep just pushing, man. Keep being that. Keep your moral compass about you the same. Don't deter your whole life because one person F you or one person didn't.
The darkness in this world is going to try to consume you.
Facts.
It's going to try to make you infect the other people around you as well. The only way to fight that is with light, with an open heart, love, kindness. I think I say a lot of outrageous stuff. I poke a lot of bears, and I pick a lot of scabs on this thing. But I feel like if I always approach these conversations, no matter how sensitive they may be, with an open heart and hoping the person liberates me from my ignorance.
Yeah.
I don't need to be right. I just want to grow.
Exactly.
I think that's how you kind of involve yourself in this space and not have to be worried, is it going to fire me? Am I going to never be able to feed my family again?
Very true.
I think as long as you're virtuous and you have integrity, you can really get into the trenches of these dark conversations and difficult thought concepts.
Very true. I agree with that one.
Dude, I love you for giving me your time, as always.
I appreciate you taking the time, brother. I appreciate you taking the time for me to be here.
This was the best way to kick off the return of this chapter. Another chapter.
I appreciate y'all.
That's it. Ricky, do me the favor. Tell them where they can find you.
Just Another Day TV on TikTok, to YouTube, Instagram, and right in the middle on Spotify, YouTube, and that's where the podcast and the Nothing Crazy podcast is on YouTube and Spotify. we're on an 8 months hiatus because your boy hasn't been staying consistent. Woo. And, you know, I just been in the funk. But, you know, we're out here. We're out here
More
for the
to
people,
come.
by the people.
You got stuff in the works.
Yeah, it's coming.
So
It's coming. We're going to have a quick vlog of what Alex, you know, got to do that. This is going to be probably our only Ohio vlog with Alex. So
That's
we got to
right.
do that.
Represent.
We gotta
Represent,
do that.
baby.
So thank you, Alex, so much. Thank you guys very much for tuning in and everything. I appreciate being here, brother. Thank you.
I couldn't be more thankful to open it up again with
Yes, sir.
such a solid
Yes,
person.
sir.
Guys, if we made you laugh, if we made you think, the best thing you could do to support this show is share the episode. We're competing with algorithms and entities that want to suppress us. Literally, the only thing that we ask, this is a free, great time. The only thing we can ask is that you share it with people that I'm sure will enjoy it just as much as you. Guys, just to give you a roadmap of what we're expecting from here on out. We're going to be doing the podcast. I'm hoping to keep it out going every week. We've got our Rethink Solutions that we do every Thursday, but now we're going to be moving them. We got one more coming here soon, but finally we're going to be moving this to a live show. So me and John are going to be doing it live. We'll be able to interact with you guys. I hope you get excited. We want you involved. This is a think tank, a rethink tank of all of us. And I want to be checked and brought. I want to bring in as many perspectives as we can. And not only will we be able to engage our audience, but we'll be able to stay more timely and more topical of what's going on at the time. So please be sure to check out Rethink Solutions when they come live to YouTube and across the platforms. Also, Rethink Solutions, aside from that, so here's where I'm at, and that's going to be, we got a studio space. I couldn't be happier to have a more permanent home for the Rethink Tank, and we got a lot more coming your way. So otherwise, guys, you can catch all of our content at our website at www.rethinktankpodcast.com. You can find me on Instagram and all the other platforms at Gergaff57. Guys, we're just here to make you laugh, make you think, and have a good time. I hope whatever you're doing, if you're cruising, you're doing some yard work, the sun's beating on you, or you're just, sitting on the couch enjoying a good convo, I hope we made you laugh. And guys, we'll catch you next time.
Hey,
peace.
Don't forget to rethink.
Hey. Yeah, you had all the great clips, putting it together. Everything else, I'm a lucky man.
Hey, man, Rethink Tank Podcast, man. Y'all see the name right there. Y'all see